Thank you. Hello, everyone, again. So, several years ago, in 2013, I did a lightning talk on YAPC Europe. You might remember that. I was in the same T-shirt. During that time, I told you that it was called My Way to Perl, and I told you how I become a Perl programmer. And today, after 4 years, I want to continue and tell you what happened during that time. This is mostly how community affected me as a Perl programmer and as a person in the whole. So the first my event was YAPC Russia 2009, and I first saw one of the famous people in the Perl world. It was this guy, Brian Defoe. And I made a picture with him and posted it to my, Russian LinkedIn site. So I have a picture with Brian Defoe there, which is absolutely cool. And after that time, I was visiting several conferences in Russia, Ukraine, and other places. And finally, 2013, I made pictures with many other people. Oops. Wrong picture, even this guy. So I could update my resume, but I didn't. Oh, this guy too. Who is it, you would ask? This is actually creator of Lua language, and how does it relate to Perl? It doesn't. But it's just a funny picture. So in 2014, I went to London Perl workshop, which was pretty cool because there was an anniversary and Mark Keating got a silver camel that time. It was a pretty cool event, and I saw a lot of nice people, and when I noticed like these glass bottles on the table with water in them, the first my idea was, oh, is it already time for vodka? Because water was not very common for me. Many nice people I met there and some other creatures. And I was really impressed by how English people buy rounds and sometimes disappear after that and change pubs when they are closing. And Wendy was there and taught me to drink Belgian beer. So the next year, when I came to FOSDEM conference, I knew what to do. So the next year, it was YAPC Europe and Granada too. And there was the warmest community I ever met, literally. It was about plus 30 degrees every day. There were nice sites and nice drinks and tapas and nice people. No, they were not just Japans there. I found a Russian-speaking guy from the US, which surprised me a lot. Nice talks though there too. After that, I decided that I need to organize my own event. And in Ryazan city where I live, I organized the first Russian Perl workshop. It's how it looked. And this device is how we made a video of it. It didn't work, unfortunately. Yeah, the whole 8 people were there, which was pretty cool for my city. It was the first one in this city. Okay, so 2016, FOSDEM 2016 was also nice. Lots of books, lots of nice T-shirts, lots of beer, of course. This night, Bulgarian whiskey was also involved, and when I came to my hotel that night, the first question from hotel staff was, breakfast? Next year there was YAPC EU in Cluj-Napoca, and I made my very first talk, full talk in English, and the second one day later. One of them was better, one of them worse, no problem. Okay, there was lots of socializing. I found a Russian-speaking Romanian guy at that time. After that, I organized second Russian Perl workshop in Ryazan. 12 guys. No photos, just videos. There was a Ryazan PM organized, kind of. This year, TPC EU in Amsterdam, I met Brian Defoe and heard the best presentation, the best training talk I ever heard in my life. Lots of socializing. No Russian-speaking foreign guys yet. Please come if you are here. and IT workshop in Ryazan is ongoing. So achievements, I made lots of new friends, many places visited, more Perl and IT knowledge, tried myself as a speaker and even as an organizer, drank a lot of beer and to be continued because there is a beer in the world yet. So one question that was asked during today's keynote, what brought you there? What is the nicest thing about Amsterdam? I think that this question really touched me very seriously and I didn't expect that myself. But what brings me there, apparently, and to all the other events is people. And sometimes other creators. Thank you.
Hi, hello, my name is Andrew, and probably you saw that there was some streaming on Facebook these days, and some statistics, there were over 2,000 views of all the videos. So, like, the conference has about 300 people, and 2,000 views was done. So my talk's about Perl 6 books, season 2. So the second season of Perl 6 books is already now. So yeah, as you all know, Perl 6 was announced at about 2000, and after that there were a few books appeared almost immediately. These 2 books, and but actually now they are outdated. If you also there was one book, I even don't remember the name, on Amazon. It was never published. It was the book about Perl 6. So it followed the trend about what people thought about Perl 6 appearance those days. And probably also have seen this imaginary timeline of Perl 6. So there was a hype, then there was despair, and then like 2006. And this graph ends in 2007. But after that, there was another decrease. So I think something like immediately, like there was, at least from my feeling, there was no interest at all. And it continued until about 2015, when Perl 6 release was announced. And after that, really people were much more interested than 10 years ago. And if you talk to people, I was talking to people here on this conference, and people really say that it's really fast, even if it's kind of slow, but it's fast enough to understand how it works, just to test all the things you want to test. And also I have my own story. So I was trying to make some, hundreds or maybe thousands of small examples to run it on Rakuda. And it actually, since 2015, it never crashed. So it was crashing like every time 10 years ago. Now it's so stable and so fast. So I would like to thank all the Rakuda developers. And but also what you maybe didn't notice, there was another increase on another layer. So Perl 6 became really like already kind of 6 plus, or if you want 7. So it's not that Perl 6 that was 10 years ago. If you look at some of those books which were published 10 years ago, then you will not find many subjects which are available in Perl 6 now. And this year there was, in the beginning of this year, there was a Kickstarter campaign opened by Brian Defoe. He was going to, he did. He collected some money for, so the Brian Defoe, there was about 500 people who donated money. I don't know when the book is published. But it was really a good time to collect. Thank you. So after that, I decided that I want to be the first, even despite the Brian collected more money than. So I published my book. So it was really nice experience. Actually, I would recommend everyone to just write blog posts or whatever, because you will just learn Perl 6 when you try. So Think Perl 6, there was Loren also was presenting here, another book, quite thick. And there's another book by Moritz Lenz. Actually, it was originally called Perl 6 by example. He was publishing it electronically, but then it was on paper. So some statistics from Wendy. So at this conference, there were about 100 books sold on Perl 6. So again, 1/3 of the attendees bought this. He made a website, perl6book.com, where you can choose which book you want to buy. And I'm also working on another book. And then, you see, so many Gabor also started his campaign for crowdfunding the book. Moritz started another book about regular expressions or just regexes in Perl 6. So like 10 years ago, everyone should write his own chat or CMS or blog engine or in Perl compiler. Now everyone should write his own Perl 6 book. So this is how it looks. And I know more people in this audience who are working on that. One side note, so this is the cover of his book, and these are old books. So you see, Perl was considered like old for this round expensive thing, Perl. There are many books with this strange thing, even this. And I found who was, so yeah, you might know that Perl might be called like this, or there was another name, Gloria, according to internet. And yeah, I found this one with big Perl. It's 1999. And yeah, there's another book that is going to appear really soon, like next month maybe. Okay, so thank you very much.
Hello everyone, I'm Leon Timmermans, and I'm going to tell you all to upload your slides to Sipan. Now you may wonder why, well, if you're a speaker, then you may notice that there's a field in ACT for like an URL for your presentation, but everyone seems to upload it somewhere else, and a lot of people don't seem to upload it. So recently I was thinking, and I was like, why wouldn't we use Sipan for this? We already have a place to upload stuff to. It's a centralized place, and it actually gives us opportunities to, for example, integrate these slides into MetaCpan in the future. And since there is no obvious better place, I would say upload it to Sipan. And of course, because I have to do something crazy, I'm going to do a live demo of doing just that to all my slides. Because what can possibly go wrong? Especially when you haven't tried it in advance. Yes. Nope. Yes. So here, in just one command, I'm slowly uploading all my presentations of the past 5 or 6 years to Sipan. Oh. Oh well, thank you for your attention.
Most of you probably know Moo. A lot of you will probably like it. You will love Moo. Okay, thank you. First, quick thanks to MST. He did a talk yesterday about JS project 02.js, which kind of brings the Moo 00 to JS, and that inspired this. So, go on. Those of you who use Moo probably have attribute declarations that look something like this, overly verbose, and it's kind of hard to actually spot the special parts of each attribute. The new module, MooX short has, makes all of this a lot shorter. The laser attributes now only require the name, and some kind of attribute for the builder can be 1 if you don't want to have a sub there. Does the same thing as if you say builder 1 in Moo. The read-only, read-write protected, and read-write attributes only require the name and are required by default. If you are sure you don't want your attributes to require it, you can add or override the options easily by just appending them. And since there is still a lot of typing, you can just use Moo. It'll load Moo and MooX shorthas for you. It also works for roles. And all 3 of those are on Sipan now, so please try to break them and have fun with them. Thank you.
So, packing for this conference, I looked at my laptop and thought, well, it's a bit heavy, it's a bit big. I don't really want to lug it around the conference, but I still want to write some Perl 6 and maybe play around with some of the modules that I know are going to be on display. So I got a tablet. It's nice and light, and it is running Linux under the hood. So, well, you know, maybe I can get Perl 6 running on it. I'm sure this will be easy enough, I thought naively. This tablet is 5 years old. It was great when I got it. Now it's starting to creak at the seams a little bit, but it's still functional. And, hey, people have done it before. Somebody posted some cryptic instructions somewhere which I know they're important for something and I've not figured out where. Somebody said it requires a bit of tweaking. If the authors of this are reading this, or if anybody's tried this before, let's compare notes, because I know this is possible somehow. So, after a bit of Googling, I found this tool, GNU Root. It allows you to run a Linux Debian-like system on your Android device. It seems to work fairly well, from what I can tell. You've got all your standard tools, Git works, there's a bit of setup involved, but it's all right. There's also this is the newer version. I had some problems with this, more on this later, so I maybe don't recommend using this one. Maybe use the slightly older one. But anyway, once it's installed, it gives you this. So you create a new rootfs, does this, then you log into it, and you get something like this. You get yourself a Linux prompt. Well, let's try it the quick and dirty way. And this works. You got Perl 520, you've got a slightly old version of Perl 6 on there. But it works, technically. Look, that's a hello world. So next, I'm going to try and get Zeph up and running. This didn't work. No Zeph. Can't really do a lot without Zeph. So I decided to do RTFM, and yep, a better way exists. So let's try it. I got this far. This worked. This worked. It even builds on GNU Debian. And then I got to this bit. This will take ages. Like, seriously, go make a coffee, go get a beer, maybe go see a Perl talk or two. I did. Lasted about 3 Perl talks or so. Originally ran into problems with GNU Debian. It has some strange issue with permissions and assigning +X permissions on files. It will pretend to do it, won't spit out an error, and not actually do it. I think it's due to the weird way that my Android tablet is mounting an ext4 file system, representing it as exFAT, and then GNU Root's trying to use it as ext4 again. I don't know. I switched to GNU Root easy. That seemed to work. I had to use Total Commander with a file system mounted as RW to run that command, and even then that just covers Rakudo brew. If you have anything else that needs to execute, it will fail. So yeah, did I mention this takes ages? Like, I let this run for 3 hours, and then it crashed. I was trying to edit the slides at the same time, and Android will handily kill any background processes if your foreground process needs more memory, and turns out Google Slides uses a lot of memory. I tried it again, and it died. So, error 137, apparently. Let's try this manually. Configure seems to work. We're all good. Make then fails with a 137 error. All right. To the Google. 137 error is often due to running out of memory. Oh. Oh dear. Okay, I can work around this. So I'm going to try all of the make flags. I'm going to try Android tuning. I'm going to try changing the make file. Nope. Still nothing. Screenshot failed. It took me an embarrassing long time to figure out why it was failing. And then some magic happened, and it all started working perfectly, just in time for the presentation. And I got a version there, and Zeph works, and everything, and it's beautiful. I just happened to not have a screenshot. It's great, I hear you ask, but why? Why not? Don't want to log a huge laptop to a conference. Coding on the go, always nice. Maybe you got an old phone that's looking for a use. Or maybe you want to run a production. I dare somebody, seriously, do it. Why not? It's fiddly. It's slow. It's not battle tested. Here be dragons, as you can see. Might require roots, I'm not sure. Actually, don't know root advice. Also, oh, seriously, this will do unspeakable things to your battery. It will kill it fast and painfully. So anyway, my current progress on it is here on Git. It will change. I'm going to keep tweaking this, but watch this space. Thank you.
So I will show you a few slides about what you can see in this museum. So maybe this is attracting you to go with us. Like this. Maybe you recognize it from your art books. Picasso, and so on. So Jeff Goff is being painted by Van Gogh. Sunflowers, you may recognize this. So if you want to see those things, you may join me on the trip. They have about 4,000 statues and paintings. Very famous paintings, mostly around 1900, collected 1900. It's in here. Oh, yeah, this is scaled as well. It's in here where my arrow is. I hope you can see it. So it's very close to Amsterdam. Well, it is in Amsterdam. It's there. It's for the Americans. You can go there by train. It takes you an hour, so that's the same time you need by metro from Haarlem to Queens or something. So it's very close by. I pick you up at the railway station in Arnhem, and then we go first by car a little bit, and then by bike, because it's a nature area, and you can cycle there, ride bicycles, and so on and so forth. So if you're interested, contact me, and I arrange the whole trip tonight. Depends on the day, the time you have, and so on. And no, that's it.
About the stairway to heaven there?
I don't know.
In front of the museum, there's a stair that leads nowhere.
Oh, there's so much. So it's a really nice park, so they have 190 Van Gogh paintings and so on, but there are fewer tourists than here in Amsterdam. So, and it's close by. That's it.
Hello everyone, my name is Bas Postema and I work at zaaksysteem.nl, and I'm giving this talk because a couple of you came to us and asked, like, you guys are sponsoring this conference, but what are you guys actually doing? So, in very short, we are open sourcing the government. It started roughly 8 years ago when we saw a couple of problems with software in the governments in the Netherlands. It was all closed source. It was very expensive. There was vendor lock-in. There were no use of open standards. Everything was on premise, and Patch Tuesday was only one Tuesday a year, or twice if you were lucky. So we built Zaaksysteem. It's a process management tool for the local governments. We started building it with one local government in the Netherlands, gemeente Bussum. And we're happy to say that nowadays 25 of our governments are using our product. It's open source. Everything is open source. We use open standards. It's only available as a service. We release every week, and other application can talk to us through our JSON API. So it's nice. The stack we use, of course, Perl, PostgreSQL, JavaScript, Docker, Kubernetes, and Fuga. The way we develop, we work in an agile way. We used to do Scrum, but recently we switched to Kanban. The process of development goes a little bit like this. There's a government or several governments who are asking for a feature. I sit down with the development team. We discuss the cost of the feature. We publish the costs on our website, and local governments can join in for a bit of money. And when we get enough funding, we build the feature, we release it, and everyone can use it. So it's very nice. Our future, we want to change from monolithic to small web services, from weekly release to rolling release, and of course, world domination at the end. If you want to help do important stuff with us, like watching microwaves, you can find it on our website, on GitLab, and of course on Google Maps. So, thank you.
All right, I'm Julian. I'm going to talk about how to teach programming using Perl. Can I disattach that? Actually, hello? This is not working. Now it is working. Actually, I'm gonna tell you how to teach people to become developers and how I do that. I've been doing that for about 6 years, and I'm doing this talk for Finn from Shadowcat, who left, unfortunately, so bad luck for him. So who of you is a developer? Raise your hands. That should be most of you. There was someone claiming to be a manager, so okay. And who of you has been trained as a developer? That's considerably less. That's okay, that's good. But who did that not in a university, of those ones? Who did not go to university but still is trained? That's even less. And who of those is German? It's like Daxim and Mauke, and that's it, okay? And over there, oh yeah. So what I did is an apprenticeship that's big in Germany. It's like this 3-year thing where you find work and then you go to school at the same time. They pay you not a lot. And usually people come directly from like regular school. They're like 18 to 20 years old and they don't have prior tech knowledge. Okay. So who of you has any trainees or apprentices or anything? Who's training anyone? Is there anyone? Okay, there's like a couple of them. That's good. I think the most important thing to do that is actually motivation. So on my very first day as a kind of like an intern before I started the apprenticeship, and I didn't know any Perl at all, I was asked to write a parser for a competitor website with regex, specified HTML. It took me like a day to figure it out, and the next day they put it in production, and that was so cool. That was like, I wrote some like code and it went live, and that was awesome. Couple months later in school, in the actual school, like this for the apprenticeship, the guy next to me, he asks me, what are you allowed to do? It's like 2 weeks into the apprenticeship, first time school, I'm allowed to sometimes build websites. And I'm like, I deploy stuff to production. Our company makes like $250 million in revenue. I felt very bad for him, but well, yeah, I was motivated. So I think you need to make those people feel like they matter. You need to talk to them all the time. You need to ask them how they are. You need to get to know them. You need to make them feel that they're part of a team. That's important. Empathy, exactly. And you let them make contributions. That's very important. They need to be a part of your company. They need to have something to do, especially something meaningful. Because nothing is more demotivating than simply like, hey, this is FizzBuzz implemented. Hey, here, like do this quick sort and then we'll throw it away. You need to help them. You need to be available. You need to tell them where you are. Hey, if you need help, I'm going to be over there. Even if I have headphones on, just come and talk to me. It's okay if you interrupt me. I'm here for you. So they need to know that. You don't have to show them everything. In fact, don't show them everything. Just like let them figure it out and then make sure that they know that they can ask and teach them how to ask. And yeah, make them, like help them so they can help themselves. That's very important. You teach them how to use your tool chain. You teach them how to read documentation and how to ask questions. Very important, like how to ask questions. And then you need to work with them. It's like they're part of a team. They're not just like this lowly little apprentice, young kid. They're a person and they're making contributions and you're working with them. So give them responsibility, give them something useful to do, meaningful. Work with them in a way that when you do something on their project, let them review your code and then take it seriously what they say. That gives them the feeling that they're also like an actual developer already. So what do you want to teach them? How about this? That's good. I like that. But actually, you don't want to just teach them Perl. You want to teach them everything, kind of. You want to make them a developer, and not just a programmer. They're not a code monkey. They're not there to learn a programming language. They need to learn how to be a developer. So do full projects. Full projects are nice. Use a ticket system that teaches documentation. It teaches them how to be professional, gives them structure. Like use an MVP, do small incremental user stories. Like as a user, I want to do some stuff because, well, reasons, but well, they know why. And start small, tiny, because everything is new to them. They're like, they're not developers yet. Make sure they understand everything, talk to them all the time, ask them if they understand, reiterate, and make sure they like the product. So they need to see the value in what they do, so they will come up with their own ideas that will give them intrinsic motivation, and they're motivated, and they like what they do, and they'll be happy. So also make them come to Perl conferences, take them with you, because you people are awesome, and they'll see that, and they'll be invested in the community, they'll like it, and that's cool. Then that way you'll get them hooked. So thank you.
Hello. I'm talking about something called Debug Schema checksum, which is very old. We wrote it in 2008, but it's still very useful for us. What does it do? It calculates a checksum from your database, from a database schema actually. So there's a live demo. No, it's a playback demo. So you have a script you call checksum on some database, and then you get back a checksum. Well, okay. Or if you can pass the show dump parameter, you get back a shitload of stuff. And in the end, a checksum. So it calculates a checksum of your database. It's like, okay. That was 2008. Git was very fresh back then. So we applied the ideas of Git to managing database definitions. So you can use debug schema checksum to update your database schemas. So the basic operations is you can generate a new changes file using in one directory and the name of a database and what you want to change. And then you have a file. Then you edit the file, or you take a look at it. It has some sort of header, which is masked as SQL comments. It has some checksum and some other stuff. And then so you write your SQL change, what you want to do. So add a new table. And then you apply the change. But it doesn't work because it expected nothing, but it got some other checksum, which is the checksum the database has after applying the change. So the boards, but then you edit the file again, enter the post checksum, run the script again. Do you want to apply it? Yes, you want to apply it. The post checksum matches, everything is okay, and the database is updated. Oh, that's very nice. It's also nice for teamwork, because if you do git pull and you get some other stuff, so a new file shows up. You take a look at it, it has this post and pre-checksum. The SQL looks sane, so you apply the changes. Do you want to do it? Yes, you want to do it. Everything's done. Nice. So databases are up-to-date between different developers. There are some limitations. It only works with databases that allow schema changes inside a transaction, which means Postgres and SQLite. It works on those. It doesn't work on MySQL or Oracle. Other databases, I don't know. There's no way to downgrade back to older versions, which I never did in the last 8 years. I never had use for that. That's maybe because I write so great SQL that there's no need for that. You can still write it if you want to. It's just write some other SQL to convert it back. And so your business plan can now be collect underpants, use debug schema checksum for stateless schema management, well, and then profit. Thanks.
Okay, so I was going to give this talk last year, but and I had it all written, and I was told that it was too early to give this talk. So we're going to give it today. So in June of last year, an announcement came out that said the problem relates to Perl, loading modules from the includes directory array Inc. And by now most of you are like this, and maybe a little bit of drools coming off your onto the book. Nobody really pays attention when CVEs come out because there's often not enough data for people to fully understand the scope of what's going on. So that's the difference between a vulnerability and an actual exploit. An exploit very often, very quickly drives home the gravity of the problem. So when the announcement actually came out, it was referring to this. So when Storable was originally put into the core, prior to it going into the core, somebody came up with the idea that, well, we'll try to require log agent if it happens to be installed, which it's not installed by default. And if it is, we'll load it and do an import. So, what happens if log agent isn't installed? So it turns out you can put a file in temp called log/agent, and then if you run Perl with storable, well, nothing happens, right? Well, what happens if your program happens to be run from /temp? Suddenly, you, not being root, have executed whatever code you felt like getting executed later on. So this all comes down to the fact that, as Sawyer explained earlier today, dot was at the end, so it searched through all these, it found that log agent wasn't installed, and it fell back to the dot directory at the end. So the explanation in the announcements was that you, in order to fix this, you need to put this at the top of your programs, begin pop at inc if the end of at inc has dot in it. It would look something like this. And if you do that, then you don't have any risk, even though you're on older versions of Perl. Did I lose a slide? Oops, I lost a slide. So in 526, dot is no longer in inc. If you use, we introduce an environment variable called Perl use unsafe inc. And if you do that, then dot is suddenly in inc again. Father Christiomos actually complained about this when we were first working on it. Some of the ideas we came up with is, well, if you've got dot or if you really need dot, well, maybe you should be explicitly specifying the path. You can use find bin, or worst case, and really you shouldn't do this, you can put perl5lib equals dot in your hbd.conf. So when we made this change, things didn't turn out so well for Sipan. This, for the most part, is the majority of the problems with the removal of dot from inc. People would do things in their makefile PL like saying use lib : my : module, assuming that the lib directory was in the path where makefile PL was being run, and it was going to get picked up because dot was in inc. Or they would do t : lib, whatever, same thing. We have patched the Sipan clients to re-inject dot back into inc when you use them, so for the most part you won't see the problem unless you're running makefile PL manually. The builders also have those protections if they need them. Unfortunately, module install does the trick that we talked about where it says use inc module install. So if you don't have module installed in your system, then then all the module installs will fail. That's about 10% of Sipan. This is some more information on the CVE. If you can, you should upgrade to 526 today. Debian fixed the problem in older versions of Perl, so if you have Debian, be sure to upgrade. Gentoo's also done a lot of work on this. And thank you.
Unicode support, Perl 526. I enjoyed the talk from Sawyer this afternoon. I've seen wonderful things from Perl 6, and I think we can be proud on doing all kind of Unicode stuff. But it goes further. This is me, not because it's over, but I'm feeling much better. This used to be me, not so doing well. And then Sawyer came up with this. This was not a good reminder for me at all. And then this here. It's all about the Perl community. I saw this thing. I created this myself, I must say, but I saw the cloud tag and all our stuff we are going to talk about this conference. And there were certain words that will highlight. And of course, there were two things. I said it's all about the Perl community. People ask me what's so special about this conference. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it because people say, nah, you can't edit. Or maybe. I think it's just an excuse to have a few beers. But to me, it's always about the people. It's not so much of how much you know, but it's more about how many people you know, or if you know the right people. So there is something going on here. Nils Barkar, Dermot Pykos, Andrew Beverly, Dirk de Nijs and Gert van Os. Thank you very much for paying for the most expensive ticket we could find on the website and making it possible for all of us to have our cups of coffee. Your special mug is still waiting for you. Take it with you home. Then, special boring announcements. 7 p.m. we need to have left the building. 17. Well, we should have left this area. You can have some drinks in the place over there.
Until 9 o'clock.
Until 9.
In the bar area.
Yep.
Same night last night.
Yep. So, but we need to get out a little bit. There will be food there. There is an interesting thing they have here on Friday. That's Junk Food Friday. They will have hamburgers.
Not for all of us. They didn't count us in.
No. So you need to hurry. Some other people will join upstairs. There's a little bit food left there. It's a nice restaurant. And then, yes, unfortunately, to all good things there comes an end. Yes, I'm sorry. But it doesn't end yet. It doesn't end here. It continues on Twitter. It will continue on Facebook. It will start on YouTube, thanks to Amanda and Sawyer, making sure that all the videos will come online. Then there's one terrific guy, you will never see him anywhere, I think. I've never seen him anywhere. I've ever met him. Barbie, he's the guy that's behind the surveys. Please, and that has already been addressed, please fill them in. If you're a first timer, fill them in. It's very, very valuable information. I like to read the reviews from my own talks. I haven't given any talks this year, but I really like to see how people start cursing to me and feel that's wrong. And no, it's not that way. Most people are very kind. But please fill them in. Next organizers will get very valuable information out of it. Then, I already told you on Wednesday morning that we have a lot of people from the Netherlands for the first time here, and I'm very happy to see that. So look up for the Dutch Perl Mongers on Meetup. What else would I say? Yeah, that's the thing with tiny emoticons. They're so small on your screen that you think, what is this slide about? So, without the partners, without the sponsors of Booking, a tremendous hand for Booking.com. They made it really possible. A company, Sipan, I'm not sure how I can thank them. I mean, many people are hiring of this list of sponsors, but cPanel is just the guys that we are so happy to see these conference happening. We pour in money just for making sure that the conference happens. Not because they're hiring. If you'd like to join the London Perl circus of traveling idiots, go to Aligo or to Perl Careers. They will make sure you will find a job there. They have made me move there, and I enjoy London very much. I enjoyed very much with these guys from Broadbean. Are my colleagues still here, or have they already left? Where are my colleagues? They are left. All right. They left. Never mind. Then this tiny company, Zaaksysteem, I think they're the kind of David and Goliath thing, fighting against these giants of the software houses we used to have here in the Netherlands. Very backhand for them. Perl Services and what? Geizhalspreisverlag. Oh man, sorry. Yes, they made sure you had your coffee this week. And of course, don't forget Perl6.org or Liz and Wendy or however they want to be pronounced. Give them a very big hand. And then, I think it started 20 months ago, maybe a little bit more, that my son came to me. He used to have an office up here. And Dad, if you want to organize a Perl conference, just start talking with the guys of B Amsterdam. And I think they have done a very, 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 very good job here. And yes, we already had announced Amanda and Sawyer, but there are way more people. It's fabulous to see that they just made an announcement at the Booking Family Facebook web group site thing, and they just popped up, the people that were managing the cameras and make sure that everything will be recorded. Thank you very much. But of course, it wouldn't happen without, let's say, Leon, Marijn, Wendy, Eric, please come up, Andrew, Liz, Judith. Who else? Oh man, who's big Eric, please volunteers, come here.